In the next version, I want to make the pocket for the knife a little bit slimmer. So let me know what kind of things that you look for in a pocket organizer, and that might make it into the final version that I do. Final version that I do. Final version that I do. Final version that I do.
Let's do this.
Today I'm going to be using some Horween English tan Dublin leather, about 4 to 4.5 ounces thick. Then I place my template on the leather and start cutting it out. From there I'm using a scratch awl to just trace out the template. Here I'm using a straight edge and my brass knife to cut that out. Then I'm using a 3/4 inch strap end punch to round out that thumb slot. Here I'm using a fine edge beveler to bevel the top and bottom of all the exposed edges. And then just make sure your camera's out of focus as you're going to be dyeing the edges. Once that's dried, I'm using some Tokomo clear edge dressing and a Kokobolo wood attachment on my rotary Dremel tool. Using a surface rougher, I'm roughing all the top edges of the leather that's going to be glued together. Once that's in place, I like to lightly hammer so that the glue adheres better. Here I'm just transferring that mark where the stitch line is supposed to go for the flashlight pocket. Then just using a scratch awl to mark that stitch line. And hammering the holes with my KS blade punch pricking irons. Then it's time to just stitch up that pocket with my Vinimo MBT number 5 brown thread. Make sure to burn down those thread ends so they don't pull through. And I like to lightly hammer the thread so it sits a little flat. Here I'm marking where the piece of the back thumb slot is supposed to line up. Then I glue it and just put it together, hammer it up. Now I'm just lightly sanding the edges before I'm going to bevel. Using a corner punch, I'm just hammering out those corners. And using a wing divider to place where the stitch line is supposed to sit. And then hammer out the stitch holes. And then back to stitching. Once again, hammering out those stitches so they lie flat. And from here we move on to the edge work. I'm sanding the edges, going through a couple different grits of sandpaper before I'm going to dye the edges. Here I'm using a 0 grade edge beveler to bevel out the rest of the edges. Of course, make sure that your camera's out of focus as you're dyeing the edges. I've gone through one pass of burnishing here already. I'm going to use some 800 grit sandpaper and then some Tokonol clear edge dressing and burnishing with the canvas cloth. Not too shabby, but you could keep going if you wanted to get more shiny edges. And lastly, I'm using a bone folder to just get into those narrow pockets to relieve some of the pressure and tension. And that's pretty much it. But let's check out some B-roll.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, when I was taking your comments from the last EDC Pocket Organizer video into consideration, most of you suggested just adding a card slot, which makes sense because I feel like most people nowadays carry only a few credit cards. Besides that, I feel like adding anything else to a pocket organizer like this expands the overall footprint and becomes counterproductive since it's intended for your pocket. The final version will be made in the usual Wick & Craig medium brown harness that I normally use. However, I may just add a couple of the English Tan Dublin Horween leather that you saw in this video. Be on the lookout on my Instagram this next week to see when the EDC Pocket Organizer is going to be hitting my site. My Instagram is @LegacyBrownLeather. Go ahead and give me a follow there. I post product photos, process photos, and general rugged vibes. If you want to support my channel, head to patreon.com/LegacyBrownLeather. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up below if you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe. It shows me that you want to see more videos and more content like this. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe out there.